WAEN-FM Atlanta. This is Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at BeatBreakRadioFM.com. The best part of waking up isn't Folgers. It's the Beat Break Morning Show. Start your morning off right with Sean Garvey and the crew on BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the app marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
Career tips and info with Coach Mo is brought to you by ftsources.com. Okay, guys, so I have to give you a really good tip today, and I'm pretty sure you already know this, but just in case you don't, LinkedIn profiles. You all have to have a LinkedIn profile. It is a professional platform, and it is the only way that you are going to be seen across millions of other applications and millions of other people that are going for the same job. LinkedIn. Get your profile together. First, you want to go ahead and create one. And remember, the higher level your profile, the more LinkedIn will promote you. Higher level means you go from beginning to intermediate and to expert level to all-star level. And of course, the goal is to be all-star level. And how do you attain all-star level for LinkedIn? Well, it's basically completing your profile in its entirety. So first and foremost, let's talk about the picture. And then as the weeks go by, we'll talk about some other tips for LinkedIn profile all-stars. Well, with your picture, you want it to be plain background, maybe a bright background, nothing dark and shady or gloomy looking. You definitely want to show your entire face. No glasses, nothing covering your face. But at the same time, you don't want it to look like a selfie either. So you want it to be at a good distance that maybe your shoulders are showing in a professional stance. And nothing too relaxed and nothing too sensual. Make sure no one else is in the picture. You want to dress for the position. Not only just dressing for the position, but dress to impress. Dress for the profession that you're trying to attain. And last but not least, show those teeth. Make sure you have a smile in your LinkedIn profile. Okay, guys, this is going to assist you when hiring managers look at your profile, and trust me, they will. As soon as you get the interview, they're going to be looking at your LinkedIn profile to make sure you're a good fit for the company. So again, get your profile pic together, get your LinkedIn profile together in its entirety, and we'll talk more about next steps in the interview process, as well as interview etiquette.
What's up, ATL? Make sure that you check out the D Hill Radio Show every Saturday on Beat Break 87 and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
When it comes to hip-hop,
don't stop.
R&B, and talk radio, no one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM. The views and opinions expressed on this program does not necessarily reflect those of Beat Break 87 FM, Reach One Communications, volunteers, staff, and management of Studio 21 Media.
Who is she?
Who is this woman I keep hearing about?
Who is she? Who is she? The radio diva herself.
Oh my God, are you talking about?
That can't be. Oh, yes, it is, girl.
Wait a minute, that is her.
Yeah, that is her.
Oh my God.
Everybody.
I have to call somebody. This is amazing.
I still can't believe it's her.
Can I get your autograph?
You ain't making me miss her show. Ain't nobody got time for that. D Hill Radio Show with your host, D Hill.
Keep up the good job, man. You guys are doing a great job. I hope you blow up. and become syndicated.
Call in at 404-355-8699 or 1-866-923-2860. This is D Hill.
Clap your hands. With your host, D Hill.
This is D Hill.
Clap your hands. With your host, D Hill.
Now, here's your host, D Hill.
What's up, ATL? Thank you all for tuning in to DG Radio Show PM. So we got a lot of good hot topics going on tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the number in case you all want to call and weigh in at 44355-8699. That's 44355-8699. So what are we going to discuss first, DJ Roland? Oh, we also got my homegirl, Cinda in with us today. So, thank you all for joining me. So what are we going to discuss first? We got so much.
Oh, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. We can start talking about what you wanted to say first. You're one of your favorite singers.
Okay, I guess we could talk about R. Kelly first. Mm-hmm. The good juicy stuff he got going on with him. Mm-hmm. And you heard the interview with Ryan Cameron.
Right.
So I didn't hear it.
Yeah, basically Ryan Cameron has interviewed the family that says that they're holding their daughter hostage or whatever they want to say. I don't want to quote them, but basically saying they can't, they believe her daughter's being brainwashed.
Can I ask you a question? Okay, if I feel, and I didn't mean to cut you off, if I feel that my child is being hostage, first thing I'm going to do is call the police.
Right.
Not my homeboy and homegirl to do a live interview.
Right. Right. You're right. And I'm like, here's the thing I did find out, and one of the questions that was asked, or actually was mentioned, I want to just say just questions asked, information was mentioned. The father is still providing financial support to the girl, to his daughter. So I'm like...
And she's brainwashed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, if you cut off the money, she got a call.
Thank you.
She got a call and like, Dad, I whatever, and he has to, want to provide. But remember, she's 22, so legally you don't have to give her anything. And then another thing is she's an adult,
a grown woman.
She's grown and she's allowed to do what she wants. It may be out of character. That's what some people do as they get older. Mm-hmm. They do get out of character. Like, where does other person come from? Everything. So it does happen to a few or happen to several. But the point is, it can happen. Yeah. So you can't blame.
Yeah. And you know what? Oh, you want to go ahead?
My opinion,
is
in just looking at the overall picture, is the question for the for the dad: are you upset because you can no longer control her? Which is why you are going to such great lengths to try and exploit a situation that probably isn't even in existence.
Yeah,
because she clearly said on national television. He's not holding me hostage. I am there because I want to be there.
Right.
So. And I'm thinking what you just said, I'm thinking that might be some truth to it. He's the one that's doing all the talking, not the mom. We as black women, something going on with our child, first thing we're going to say, my baby.
Right.
The mom is really not really saying anything.
Not much. She said some, but not much.
Yeah, like the dad is doing.
Right. So I don't know. I think it's because of I guess he's supposed to be the voice of the entire family. And to me, I think parents should be the voice because it's their daughter.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah. And, and if you've been in media as long as me and you have, you can pick up on things like how he was directing the reporters when to talk and when not.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. And I'm like, really? You can control how long and what to ask? I mean, come on now.
Sounds scripted to me.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Very scripted.
No police is involved.
I promise you, if and my sons are 25 and 26, if there is an issue, as grown as they are, I'm not going to tell you when to ask questions. I'm not going to tell you when to cut a scene. I am in your face.
Yes.
Unscripted.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I'm not going to be somewhere other than the place where the problem is.
Thank
because
you.
if it's really a problem, I'm going to knock on Mr. Kelly's door,
Yes.
or I'm going to stand at his gate,
Yes.
and I'm going to bring reporters there. So I'm going to bring as much attention and as much noise to the situation that he has no other recourse but to come out and talk
Yes,
to me.
definitely.
But we don't see that happening.
And you know, like he was mentioning before, Hugh Hefner. You know, the girls that came to his mansion. You know, I'm pretty sure that some of the parents even brought the girls there and dropped them off.
Straight out of high school.
Hey,
Straight out of high school.
I'm an uncle. I don't have any daughters. I have a bunch of nieces. And I'll feel funny to do that because how I am and how my family is.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for money and if your daughter, niece, or cousin think they can provide it, hey.
More power to them.
More power to them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be me though. I'm like, I don't want you exploiting your body just to get me some money.
Right, but as a grown woman, if this is my choice, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Another question for the dad: how long has this been happening? Because it didn't just happen last week or last month. To now, where you feel that you want to come out and say something. So, have you been getting some kickbacks, and now you're no longer getting them?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely.
So all types of questions are in my head around this situation because looking at it, even on the surface, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look right at all.
And for it's like the question Ryan Cameron asked, where's the music? Sometimes it takes a long time for your music to get out there.
Right.
Especially somebody, I'm not saying the young lady don't have any talent because I haven't heard her sing. But you know, if she doesn't have any talent, it may takes a while for him to find that perfect song for her. And I forgot what this rapper's name, but he had the #1 hit on the radio station now. He said he wrote that song 10 years ago. And it just now becoming a hit.
Wait, you need the right pusher or something like that?
Well, yeah, the right person, not saying R. Kelly's not the right person, but the right person have to hear the song.
Oh, okay. All right. We got to hear something.
Okay,
hear
you want to weigh in? Go
So
ahead.
do y'all honestly sit here and tell me y'all don't think R. Kelly doing something wrong?
But what is he doing wrong?
If you have
I can
adult
understand
women,
she was 13 or 14.
then absolutely.
Do y'all honestly sit here and tell me y'all don't think R. Kelly's doing something wrong?
I don't think he's doing anything wrong.
No, I don't see it. No, what do you see? You're
When
a
you
man,
have
what do you
consenting
see?
adults, these are adult women, albeit young in age, but young.
Even the interview that young lady gave, it looked scripted, contrived, and she looked like she was looking at whoever she was talking to.
Was giving her cues.
Making her say whatever it was making her say it. Something is going wrong. We all know R. Kelly is sick.
I agree to that.
And if y'all sit there and don't think R. Kelly is a sick man,
I don't think he's sick. I just
he
think.
was sick when he married
he
a
is sick
15-year-old
now.
Leah.
I mean, has he done some sick stuff? Absolutely. I can't say
What
that
man
he is exactly. But I can't say that he's a sick man. Does he do sick stuff? Absolutely.
Yes, he's a big freak.
But yes. For about 30 minutes, I might be sick with him. But but seriously.
But you too old.
Right, you're right.
Yeah. So you're saying if you had a daughter that young, you would be upset.
I wouldn't take her nowhere near him.
Okay.
No. And if it had, I do blame the parents.
Okay.
That have taken these girls and allowed these girls to get to R. Kelly.
Okay.
But I, in my heart of hearts, believe and almost damn near know R. Kelly is a sick man. And he needs just as much help as all the parents who have given their kids, put their kids under his tutelage.
Okay.
All these people are sick and need help.
Okay, I'm so glad that you brought that up because you're looking at R. Kelly as being a sick man, but everybody look at Hugh Hefner as being a smart, white, intelligent man when he basically doing the same thing. R. Kelly.
I don't think Hugh Hefner was a smart, intelligent. I think the parents that took those daughters up there too has a problem. All these, I guess, exploiting young, naive women, that's a problem.
Yes.
Okay.
It is a problem.
And if we don't think that's a problem, something is wrong. And for all the And to me, the people that keep patronizing R. Kelly is feeding his sickness.
Well, here's the thing. Do we now say something because it is in the spotlight? Because trust and believe, it didn't just start right now. It didn't just start right now.
When R. Kelly married Aaliyah at 15,
no, we're not talking about
that
R.
was
Kelly.
a problem.
That was the start. That was the start of it.
But what I'm saying, as far as the parents and the parents allowing this to happen, this didn't just happen. You don't pick up a pound cake and it just be a pound cake. There are things
like
that
I said, don't get
lead
me
up
wrong.
to it.
There's
That has to be addressed on the forefront and in the beginning rather than on the back end. And I think that is what our problem is as a culture and as a society, is that we tend to address things on the back end and not the things that lead up to the back end.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. When we all knew, or allegedly knew, that R. Kelly had this relationship with a 15-year-old Aaliyah.
Right.
Why did we as a culture, as a society, continue to support his music and not say that something is wrong with not only him, but her parents for allowing their 15-year-old child to be under this creep?
Because money speaks louder than
yes.
non-money speaks.
So
it's just as simple as that.
If we didn't address it then, to your question, what makes so why is it, if they trying to address it now, you said so basically what you're saying is since they didn't address it then, we should allow him to just keep doing what he's doing.
What I'm saying,
and these girls are not 15; they're adult girls.
But
these are young girls, but
I guarantee you, he started training them and teaching their minds at a earlier age than what they are now.
No, he didn't train them. The
R.
parents
Kelly has
trained
told
them.
y'all he has documented it in his music that he's sick. He called himself the Pied Piper. Come on now.
That's the song. I don't think he was calling himself.
I mean, you still
go back and do you know the story of the Pied Piper? Go back and look up the story of the Pied Piper. Why would this man? Okay.
Oh Lord.
Hey, this.
But it goes back to we can't say that R. Kelly is training these. There's a prerequisite to what we see today. I mean, that's just how it is. There is a prerequisite. So it needs to be addressed in the home and on the forefront before it actually gets to all of this.
But we don't have to address it with him either?
Absolutely.
So he can be allowed to continue to do whatever he do.
There should have been consequences to his behaviors in the past. And his behaviors in the past is a prerequisite of the end result today. But at the same time, when you have money tends to speak volumes in places where there is no money present.
But do you honestly think, and that's a question for you too, with everybody in here, do y'all honestly think that people really care what R. Kelly does? Because even when he did all that, he came out with that #1 album. What did everybody do? Went and bought that album.
Went and bought it. I know I mixed with it. All that. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it speaks. You know, the volume speaks, and then now we're going. This leads to basically the next part going on this month. They're trying to see how they're going to cancel his concert here, and I'm like, that's powerful. The I forgot what is his name. The guy who's over at Wolf Creek Amphitheater, he is trying to put out that a lot of folks have put a petition out saying they want to have that concert canceled. And you were mentioning that it can't be because some kind of
legally. They're not going to be able to stop it.
He's lost some dates.
If they were to stop
He's lost some dates already. Have some shows canceled already.
And there's going to be monies and lawsuits because he's losing money. So he's going to sue the venues and the various entities because legally it can't be done. It's a breach of contract. So he's not losing any money. He's not going to make nearly as much as he would if he was touring, but he's still going to make some money.
Okay, but ain't that a first step to getting this problem solved?
No.
Or you don't think taking money out of his pocket is going to be a way to help
But you got to understand, people are diehard. Some people are diehard R. Kelly fans.
And I'm not a diehard R. Kelly fan. I just don't think that is the first step. The first step is the exposure. You know, as much exposure as they're giving to O.J. Simpson, and he was accused of a crime.
Killing some folks.
Odd years ago. Then if this mattered as much to the people, then we would give this the exact same exposure. The people that matter. But look at the driving force behind the people that are giving the exposure. It's all people with money. Money talks.
Yeah, definitely.
Money talks.
And I'm not at all trying to make this a race thing, and I apologize if it seems that way, but
it absolutely is.
Not one time did you hear all that stuff Hugh Hefner did with the young girls. Not one time did you hear that them white folks say they gonna boycott the Playboy books. Not one time did you ever hear
That's a multi-billion-dollar company, man.
Yes.
They ain't gonna boycott that, man. That's worldwide. They're not going
because guess what? They're getting something out of it. And just as the black culture, we're getting something out of it. And that is the music
that R. Kelly's put out.
Kind of satisfy our sick little minds sometimes.
But we step to it, though.
We step to it.
But this leads to, I got to say this. This leads to, we're talking about power of the people and whatnot. This leads to another next hot topic dealing with Colin Kaepernick. And I know I mentioned this last week on the show.
My man.
Colin Kaepernick, former 49ers quarterback. He is, right now, what I've read is that he is not going to be signed by any NFL team because of what he believes in.
Okay.
By him kneeling down during the national anthem.
Okay.
Silent protesting.
Yeah, and
silently.
Right. It's a trip. I mean, the team he should put he's just about to be signed with is the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
And I'm like, he did all this. And what they piggybacking on the reports is that, okay, look what Michael Vick has done. And he served his time, and he had a multi-million-dollar contract when he got out.
Signing.
All right. Going back to the Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis was I think he did something.
He was implicated in a murder.
Implicated in murder. Right.
Double murder.
Yeah, double murder here in Atlanta.
Interfering with evidence.
Whatever. I can't quote all that. But the point is, he was still able to play, and he has 2 Super Bowl rings. All Colin Kaepernick is doing is kneeling during a national anthem. And that's the biggest deal because, quote unquote, Caucasian or people of money power saying don't sign him because he's going to cause a distraction.
Okay.
And I'm like, why not sign him? I mean,
and you all say he was a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He is.
He's a good player. So I'm like, really, you gonna put this man out? And he's trying to put out his talent, and y'all gonna criticize this man for his silent protest. I'm glad you said it like that, and just because of that. And it's only for 2 or 3 minutes, wherever how long the national anthem is, and y'all gonna get on him about that. And he has broken not one law, not accused of anything wrong, but his belief, and you're gonna cause this man not to play in the NFL? Come on.
Let me ask this. Why did he get cut from the last team he was with?
Oh, he wasn't performing at his best. And that was a big controversy with the 49ers.
Okay.
So he was close to being signed with several teams during the offseason because the season is going to officially start in a couple weeks. So I'm like, okay, he is on the edge of being signed. I even saw information that the coach and the general manager of the Ravens are ready to sign him, but you got to get the okay from the owner.
Okay.
And then the next day, all the owners of the NFL said, we're not going to do it because of what the fans have said.
So the white fans?
Hey, that's you. I ain't say that. I ain't say that, but that's basically what they're saying. And I'm like, Oh, so he didn't break any laws. He ain't do anything to get arrested or anything like that. Just his particular belief, and you don't want him to play. Just because he's kneeling down during a national anthem, whatever. Really.
Wow.
Colin Kaepernick is not playing football because he is protesting the oppression of people that cannot stand up for themselves, black and brown folks. That's why Colin Kaepernick is not playing football. The owners that keep hollering about they losing money, the NFL didn't lose any money last year. In fact, the San Francisco 49ers had a profit of over $150 million last year. They lost no money. His touchdown to interception ratio was 41. That was amongst the top amongst the quarterbacks in the NFL last year, and he only played half the season. Colin Kaepernick is not playing because he stood up for black folks.
Okay.
Rick King said that my email address is RIQUEKING. Don't direct that to D Hill. Direct that to me at gmail.com.
All right.
All right. And I'm like, he needs to play. He needs to play.
I agree. He does.
And I'm like, come on. I mean, I can't see. To me, he'll make more money. If he gets signed with the Ravens, he's going to make some serious money. Serious money. I can see people ready to buy his jersey and all that.
Like they did with Mike Vick.
Okay. All right. We got a caller on the line right now. Caller, what's your name?
JT.
All right, JT. What you got to say?
Yeah. I wanted to chime in on the thing y'all were talking about with R. Kelly.
Uh-huh.
And very good job on that because everybody admitted that it's the consumers' sick minds that are feeding into his purported illness. The Pied Piper, and that is what he calls himself.
Yeah.
But
he has.
We still play his, I can't say we because I'm not a fan, but people still buy his music regardless of the things he's been accused of. And even though he's never, I don't believe he's ever been found guilty of anything, right?
No,
he has not.
We haven't.
Yeah, but I guess as consumers, we look at him and say, well, he's sick because of, I guess, some things he said on his song. But I think, and y'all hit the nail on the head when you said that. Just like some of the stuff that all the other rappers do, women buy the music. Women buy music that they listen to and they're being insulted.
Oh yeah.
And they're dancing to it. So that is crazy. So what are we going to do about our minds? Forget about them. Forget about the artists. What are the consumers going to do to change their minds so they don't keep feeding into it? And then, look, you got a generation coming up behind you that is hearing the same thing. They've got to take it to another level. The next generation always takes the perversion or the fashion to a next level.
That's true.
So that's something to think about. But so usually don't want to rock the boat, especially if we have it, just like with OJ, everybody wanted to see him get off because we always get the shaft, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got to stop thinking like that, especially when somebody is accused of being basically a pedophile, I guess you could say, or a molester.
All right.
That's pretty serious. So women, stand up.
All right. That's right.
That's true. I agree with that, JT.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Start the movement. Start the movement.
All
Be a
right.
Colin Kaepernick.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. He has a lot of good points right there.
Definitely.
And that's the thing about it. I guess going back to not what he was saying about R. Kelly, but going back to Colin Kaepernick and what the producer has said, he is standing up for black oppression, and no one else is doing that, and he's just doing it silently. No, not a voice, but his body action looks so powerful by him kneeling down during the national anthem. So I guess what JT is saying, as women, I know y'all start out a whole bunch of things, getting everything together, but I guess it depends on how the music is being made with R. Kelly, and I guess the beat and whatever. like I said, Step in the Name of Love. I'm like, do you stop playing that at weddings? I mean, because that's a request. I mean, what do you do next?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess the question is, you know, when it comes to this situation, and then you take a Colin Kaepernick situation, is what are you willing to stand for,
right?
And what are you ready to lose?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because
even though, and I did say that it was a silent protest, it actually speaks volumes, and I think that is what the owners are afraid of. Because if you take a look at the number, the black and white, if you compare them, how many black superstars do you have in the NFL opposed to the white? Yeah, you may have white that are in, you know, QB positions or the most important positions, but how many star athletes do you have when you compare the two? The black outweighs the white.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then if you take their followers and you just kind of got to deep dive into it and just kind of break it apart. So this one man can impact 5 members on a team. But if these 5 members have 5 million followers apiece, now you got these. So, and I think that is what the owners are afraid of, because if we let him get in, then he's going to taint our pool, when he's not really tainting your pool. He's educating your pool, and that is what they're afraid of, is the education that comes behind it. Because when Colin did what he did, I looked at it and it just gave me chills. And my 25-year-old asked me, what was he doing? And then when you start looking at the national anthem and the Star Spangled Banner, who wrote it? And then you begin to research who wrote it. Francis Scott Key. He was a slave owner. He owned slaves, and he oppressed the black people. So when you're looking at the end result of something, it goes back to that prerequisite. So understanding why he did what he did, I think will give a lot of people a lot more courage to stand for something and be willing to sacrifice something to lose in the middle of it. So you just have to look at it in its overall totality, and not just, oh, he didn't stand up during the national anthem. But there is a meaning behind the whole thing.
I mean, and even if you look at the third verse of the national anthem, it says there that the national anthem is not for us. It was not made. Excuse me. It was not made for us. This flag was not made for us. The Constitution was not written for us.
At all.
Right.
At all. But then they want to come in. If you take a look at how laws are written and rewritten, when we get the knowledge of what it actually means and we begin to enforce what you have written for society, because you can't go back on it. It's a written law. Now they want to go back and they want to change it. Does that make sense? Okay.
It makes perfect sense.
That's a lot of sense.
So, we just have to know, you know, what are we willing to stand for and what are we willing to lose? You know, and if you don't stand for something, I mean,
definitely
kind of
fall
know the
for
rest.
anything. Definitely. So do you all think with us, because me, I'm so big on supporting us, supporting blacks.
Right.
You know, even when I heard it was a black gas station on Tara Boulevard now, I made sure I shared that with everybody on Facebook. I'm even to the point where if there's a restaurant, it says soul food to die for, I walk up in there, some Chinese folks up in there, I walk right back out. And are we at a losing battle? Because, you know, I don't want to say I'm pro-black, but I love my people. I love pushing my people.
Right.
But then I see some fools jumping on a man because he told these young folks, hey, don't disrespect everybody on this train by smoking weed. All of them young folks jumped on the brother. You know, are we at a losing battle?
Depends on what it is and what is considered to be losing. That's how I look at it.
Okay, because you got this half, okay, we want to support the black community. Then we got the other side of me, forget the black community. They done robbed and stole from me.
Right.
Hey, do what you got to do to them. You know,
that's why I say it depends on it.
Okay.
It really depends on it. You know, you got to know when to actually say something and when you're willing to lose at that particular moment, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to I would say, hurt yourself in either mentally, spiritually, or physically.
Yeah.
So it all depends. So what are you willing to lose at that particular moment? Would I have said something to those people like that on a train? No, because it's just me. But if I had about 7 of my brothers with me, oh yeah, I would have said something, because it's different. Because numbers speak.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, it's a trip on all circles.
Go ahead.
I know you're gonna say something.
Until this country,
decides
that black, brown, it's not even about color. Till this country decide that the education system become a priority. The lesser neighborhoods again.
Yeah.
And the job situation in the lesser communities, the lesser financially affluent communities, you're going to have these problems. Because if you look in the more affluent communities, the education is pristine.
Okay.
The jobs are good.
Right.
But if you come right over here, you barely got books. You barely got teachers that want to come over here and teach. And a lot of that starts, most of it starts at home also. But if you got one parent that might be working, the other parent ain't working, you barely eating, your lights ain't on, it's a lot harder. So until there can become some money situations, some educational situations that becomes better and spread out amongst all societies in the United States, this is gonna be trash.
Yeah.
And the president and our current president, with all the cuts and everything they've making to the educational system, was $9.2 billion they've taken away from education.
Wow.
So who you think gonna be affected by that move?
Yeah, definitely.
Not his community.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely lower class.
Well, let's take it back to the house. Because if they're cutting in your area, it doesn't mean that you have to become a product of your environment.
True. Thank you.
There are laws that says my child don't have to be left behind. I am one of those parents who utilized that for a disabled child who was able to get him to go to a post-secondary education institution, and his tuition was paid for, his books was paid for, his dorm was paid for, because the governor at the time had, for the state of Georgia, it's on the books. No child is to be left behind. So when I began to make the noise and began to dialing numbers, then they came to me secretly, and maybe I am the exception to the rule, but we have to go after what we want.
Yeah.
If we want better, we have to do better. Typically, if we know better, then we tend to do better. But that's not a lot of that's not the case a lot of times, because you have parents who don't know, and that's why D is very important for you to stay where you are, and DJ Roland for you to be where you are, so that you can put that knowledge out there so that they know. And parents that I spoke to had no idea that this law was even, or this policy was even in place for the state of Georgia. No child left behind. My children, when I moved back to the Atlanta area in 2009, my children went to the new Langston Hughes.
Okay.
They had an incident where my son was being threatened on Facebook. I called, made a report, because I'm an involved parent. I wanted better for my children. Went to school the next day, and there was a fight my son had gotten into. He's defending himself. So what I did was I went to the Fulton County Board of Education, and I said, this is where I want my children to go. Well, there's no problem. Yes, there is. Here's a screenshot of the posting. So this is a threat, and because you said that you were going to take him out, in lieu of other words, it is considered a terroristic threat, which is a felony punishable by arrest and prison time. So by me having that knowledge, I was able to go to the board and say, this won't do. I want this. And I was able to choose the school for my sons to go to. Now, albeit it was on me to get them there, and they had to maintain the same standards as the children. We were, out of district.
Yeah.
But we were able to go. So they went to school with the children on the north side. I was living in Union City. They went to school in Alpharetta, one of the best schools. And I made sure that I did what it took because my children were not going to become a statistic.
Right.
So I didn't want them to become a product of their environment. And now when you look back on those children, 2 of them have arrest records. 2 of them have babies. My 2 sons, no babies, no drugs, no gangs, no jail, no children. They graduated college. They're productive young men in society. So we don't have to just take what they're offering us. We have a choice, and if it's available to all, then I want a piece of it too.
Yeah.
But we just have to have that drive. We have to want it. So it does start in the home.
Yeah.
You know? So
At least educating yourself. You can't get everything from your phone, from social media. You have to be out there in the field to get educated, to understand what to do and what you're allowed to do. And that's the thing. That's why I believe that's the loss right there, is that they got to be more aggressive. If you're aggressive to defend your child when something is wrong, but what are you doing to help prevent it?
Right.
That's the thing.
In a lot of cases, our situations are situations of convenience. You know, I'm able to go here and I don't have to do anything extra and I don't have to do anything here.
Right.
For me, it was getting up at 5:30 in the morning, making sure that my children were at East Point train station by 6:30 so that they can get to school by 8:30. That's a 2-hour commute one way, 4 hours in a day. But I made it happen. And then I still had to work. I was still taking college courses, and I had a little one to look after as well. So you have to, again, decide, what am I willing to stand for? You're not going to tell me that these are my only options. No. I have options. I want to do better.
You know, this young lady I used to work with, and I think this was an excellent idea. Her school, her kids went to a private school. It was mandatory that she had to volunteer a certain amount of hours at that school. And I think that is so important. And I know in public school, I wish they could have it there too, but I know that parents have to work and everything. But I thought that was an excellent idea.
That's what most charter schools. That's what most charter schools are doing. Private, I don't know, because you're actually putting money out, so you can have a choice to volunteer.
Yeah, again, money speaks.
Right.
So, you pay $10,000 a year, I don't have to do nothing.
Right.
And he gonna pass, even though he don't go to school. But,
right.
You know, money speaks.
Yes. And charter's definitely putting that out there. Charter schools are definitely putting out there.
Yes.
You have to volunteer to have your child not only be a student here, because we got to see you, got to be participating in certain events and things like that and whatnot. And that's what's pushing out for that. But see, you got to get eligible for those charter schools. So you got to put your voice out there. You got to keep trying.
Well, maybe it was a charter school she went to. I just know the school. I just say private. If it's not public, to me, it's private. So maybe it was a charter school.
Yeah, it might have been a charter school.
Okay,
that's why I believe it more likely was a charter school.
Okay.
So that's the new thing now. It's charter and private, because they pulling away from public, because public, depending on the location, they're not putting out there what your child may need to survive in the as an adult.
Because you want me to tell you. Oh, go ahead.
The only problem with private or public schools, a lot of money that they're using to fund these schools is because they'll tell you can take your child to a private or public school, or charter or private school, but they're taking the money from the public school to fund these charters in private schools.
But you know what? To be honest, the only thing, I went to a public school all my life. The only thing I learned in my public school, in my history class, was that I was black and I was a slave and I was at the bottom of the ship. That's the only thing that I've learned in my public school. So maybe that's a good idea. They're
pushing it out there. They're pushing more out there because they're putting more things out in charter schools that public schools cannot do. It's like it's almost a competition thing now between public and charter now for the last about 3 to 5 years, something like that. So,
and I noticed a lot of my friends also are starting to do homeschooling.
Oh yeah, that's coming big right now, and I'm like all across the country with homeschooling, because they're getting tired of what's going on.
Yeah.
The bullying.
The bullying, especially the bullying.
It's just it's a lot. And to go back to your point about parents working, I was doing all of these things. But if you can get on Facebook and you can take time to post and do selfies, then you can email the teacher. So if you don't have the time, at least be in communication with the teacher and say, hey, I'm here, let me know, how is little Johnny doing? You know, you have to inspect what you expect. And if you expect greatness, you have to inspect the progress. But if you don't expect anything, then your inspection probably won't be there. I'm inspecting everything. Yeah.
One of the last few parents out there doing that, man. I'm just being real.
I mean, even at 25 and 26, my sons are grown young men.
Right.
And I kind of gave them a house in Griffin, and I told them, you know, you guys can stay here because they've worked for it and they've earned it. I know what it's like to start at the beginning. It's very hard, and given today's time. So I said, well, I'll give this to you, and you just take up where I left off. The only way they can stay at my house is for them to continue their education. You know, even if it's one class a semester, you have to continue your education in some form. You have to work. And you have to be drug-free. I give pop-up drug tests at my son's house, and they understand that if you come up positive, you have to move in 3 days.
Wow.
No questions asked. And there is a contract.
I was going to say
that.
And notarized.
It is signed. So in order for you to get here, this is what you have to do. And in order for you to be able to do this is what you have to stay free of. The drama, the drugs, and all that other stuff. Because if you can do drugs, then you don't need my help. You go get it on your own. You know? So you have to inspect what you expect. You expect greatness, then inspect the process.
Wow. Well, thanks for the parenting tip.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Given Colin Kaepernick, I promise you, I truly believe that his parents inspected the progress or the process, and now they have that great outcome.
You know what? Did his mom get him up? Because I know when he kneeled, she just had so much to say that he was an embarrassment to society. So I don't know if I think his mom is white and his dad is black. Yeah. She's just had so much to say.
But not the biological parents. Because, you know, your parents can be who is raising you.
Yeah. Okay.
And he could have very well been, you know, raised by other people.
Okay, you mean
besides his biological family.
And that's who they reached out to, his biological mom. Okay.
Because you just don't get that type of character. You don't see that every day. You know, you see more men pants sagging and more 40-year-old trying to be rappers than you do men actually taking a stand for something that great. You know,
that's true.
So I have to believe that the process and the progress was inspected because of the expected outcome, which is greatness.
I just hope the Ravens just sign him. Just get it over with, man. I mean,
it's not the Ravens. You know, I don't even want him to go to the Ravens. I would rather him go to a better team.
What? You trying to talk about my Baltimore Ravens?
Go to a better team. Because you just don't mess over somebody like that. It's like I'm just going to pick at you. If you want me, you want me. And if you don't, then we're going to leave it where
it's the owners. It's the whole NFL saying that.
I wouldn't even want to work for a man who kind of thought that way about me.
You better go to CFL and go to Canada.
I honestly think that they're going to give him another chance, just like they gave Mike.
They will.
They just I think so, yeah.
At the very last moment.
Yeah, they're going to give him another chance. I think they will.
You know, Arthur Blank ain't going to get him, though. Arthur Blank is not going to get it. Like, after he did with McElvey, he's like, I don't care. I don't care. No, he ain't worrying about it. He's like, you ain't messing up my money in this stadium and what? No.
And that's what it's all about.
I'm just saying. That's what Arthur Blank is thinking in his head. Like, don't even think about it. Get it out your head. Even if we have room for him, the answer is no.
Okay. All right.
I have a question for you. Since we're talking about the whole CK thing and R. Kelly, what do you all think about, on the tip of my tongue,
who, Bobby
V?
Okay, Bobby
V. Tell me your thoughts. I'm curious to know.
Well, you know what? I posted something on Facebook about it, and I said that 70% of the men in Atlanta were on the down low. And a couple of people on my post said that it was too high. They don't think it's 70%. It was so funny because somebody else shared that same post that I made, and other people were saying that I went too low. It's way more than 70%. That's on the DL. That's on the DL in Atlanta. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, he had to know that was a man, because even like when did y'all see the video? When the guy was running,
I saw the video.
When the guy was running behind him, how can you not tell that wasn't a man's voice? And they were saying that he got caught with 2 transgender women. So I honestly think that he may be on the DL, because the video he made, he didn't try to defend himself. He just said that people need to show more love in the world. So I'm thinking maybe, and it was. I'm not going to say I was upset, but it was the reason why I want to talk about it, because this is what single women are dealing with.
Right.
You know, women that want to get married. Will there be any more straight men left?
Yeah,
Not
there
only-
will be. It's just it's controversy on both ends, because you got to have an eye. Guys got to have an eye. and if you don't have an eye, that's when you're going to lose. Because you keep letting the other head control so much and whatnot. So you got to have that eye, making sure the eyes are looking right, and then you have your ears listening right and whatnot. So I'm like, I'm lost for words.
Okay. And I could honestly see him being like that, because whenever I see him out, I never see him with a female. Never. So I could say that he's probably don't want to come out and tell everybody he's gay, but I could see him.
So those videos,
like
those videos, it's just for acting purposes to promote that song. But when he's by himself, you ain't gonna be with no female.
Oh no, definitely not. He definitely ain't gonna be with no female.
Well, you know, a lot of people, and I saw a lot of posts. You know, I'm not buying this and I'm not buying that. But then you have him who has his preference of who he likes to be entertained by. Most people will see that's wrong or sick or however you view it. But then on the other hand, you have R. Kelly with 15 little girls, and you doing what you do on top of them and all of this stuff. So y'all don't think that it's a double standard there?
Yeah. It's always going to be a double standard. That's not going to go away.
You mad because this one is with the same sex, or he may like the same sex, but you okay about him, this over here, being with a minor child?
Well, myself, I don't look at that 22-year-old as being a minor child. So you referring to Aaliyah?
Yeah. And alleged women, young girls that have been brought up, allegedly. So, more than Aaliyah.
Well, you know
whole
what?
situation to me with Bobby V, if that's what he preferred, that's what he preferred.
Yeah.
Everybody should be allowed to love whoever they are allowed to love.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, my problem is if he's also dealing with women.
With women.
Right.
That's what my problem become. And if he is not upfront with them about what else he's doing.
Right.
Because I believe that y'all should have the option too.
Yeah.
So and me and another person had this conversation the other night. That's why it does not offend me if a woman asks me
if
I either am gay or have been with a man.
Right.
Because today's society, you never know.
You got to ask.
You have to ask. So I would tell anybody, ask the question. I'm gonna make you tell me. So if that's what he do it.
Right.
But be upfront with who you are, especially for y'all women who might want to deal with it.
But that's the thing. Men are not going to be honest. If you ask them, have they been with other men? Do they like men? They're not going to be honest with you.
Some kind of way, like they say, signs come up.
Yeah, signs. Signs can tell you. I mean, you can tell if a man is on the DL, but you ask him, he's not going to be honest with you. He's still going to play that hard role.
But if you don't ask him, you definitely letting him off the hook.
Well, I ask questions because that I've dated, I suspect, but I got a no for an answer. Sister Kate knew. I definitely knew. Yeah. Even some of the ones I work with that are married. Okay,
Whoa.
brother.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
brother.
that's the thing. So, and this whole Bobby V thing just kind of leads into a whole plethora of other issues. Women should have the right to choose whether or not I'm going to deal with you. But on the other hand, Lil Duval, he gave an interview and they asked him, he was on Charlamagne the God show, and he asked him, what would happen, and he just straight up and said, hey, I'll take you off the grid, for in lieu of other words, So, and that became an issue. Everybody lashed out at him, but speaking on the other side of things, in the men pool, because there are some women who look like straight up, men who have crossed over and look straight up like women. The surgeries, the hormones, the money will allow them to look that way, But then DJ Rollum takes a date and you don't know that that's a man. Now you've taken away his right to choose. Yeah. So in the moment, how can someone be penalized, or what your reaction would be? I'm kind of, you get where I'm going with that, right? Because
I, in my heart of hearts, I think they should have to tell. I believe if
because
you
with
are a
HIV you have to
person,
tell.
You should give that man the right, the option.
Yeah,
exactly.
The option.
Don't take
to
away
say,
my
I can't do
freedom
this.
to choose what I want to do, because now you just forced this man to be gay. And so I kind of think hands with him,
yeah.
And Lou Duval, he said they had him on Harvey's show, TMZ, and they asked him, would you change anything? He said, absolutely not. He said, it's what I felt. Don't tell me. Don't perceive your way. Don't give me the perception that things are this way, but things are really this way, and expect me not to be bothered because now you've taken away my choice to choose.
Yeah, because you know what? There's actually, and I'm going to try to get them to come on here on the radio, that there's like 3 women that I've seen that look just like men. Y'all would not think that they were born women at all. So I'm going to see if I can get them here on this show.
I hope I'm back because I got to go.
Well, tell me.
Okay.
Tell me if you're a man or woman.
Make sure you be here.
All right, because DJ Roman's going on a little tour, going to Detroit starting tomorrow, so I'll be back in a couple of weeks. So
safe travels.
Thank you.
All right, scared of you. So make sure that you all tune in next Saturday to the D Hill. Man, that went by fast.
Yes.
Tune in
Good
next
stuff.
Saturday
Good
to the
stuff.
D Hill radio show.
Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. The best part of waking up isn't Folgers. It's the Beat Break Morning Show. Start your morning off right with Sean Garvey and the crew on BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com.
I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me.
Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the app marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
Career tips and info with Coach Mo is brought to you by ftsources.com. Hey guys, so we have been talking about LinkedIn every week to help you guys with your interviewing and job searching needs. Well, today I want to talk about interview etiquette and how you can be successful. So really quickly, here's a great tip for interviewing, especially in person. So if you're interviewing in person, guys, the first and foremost thing you want to do is make sure you do your research. Research the hiring manager and the company that you're going to be interviewing with prior to your interview, guys. Make sure you're researching them on LinkedIn. Look at their Facebook page. See, the whole point of research is not just for information that you keep to yourself, but it's for information for you to get to know that person and create a rapport. For example, you may find out through research on Facebook and LinkedIn that this person really likes the same football team that you like, or maybe perhaps even went to college that you went to, or perhaps a college that your family went to. Either way, whatever the connection is, make sure you make that connection known and build a rapport during the interview. That's the whole purpose of gaining the intel, to be able to use it for your advantage. All right, guys, that is the tip for today. Research the hiring manager, find out as much as you can about him, and connect with him on the interview. The great thing about interviews is each person is a person. They're human, guys. So humans deal with emotion, and how emotional or connecting could it be if they end up finding something that they're connected with, or perhaps they are familiar with. They'll always remember that person that stated, hey, I loved Clark Atlanta University, or I loved Morehouse, or I really enjoyed my time at Spelman. How great would that be for them to remember you because you went to the school that they went to as well? Either way, however you decide to connect with the hiring manager, just make a lasting impression and be true to yourself during the interview. I have way more tips and tricks for interview etiquette, but we'll wait till next time to get into that. For now, that was Career Tips and Info with Coach Mo on the Beat Break Morning Show. Follow me on Instagram. Come on, guys, make sure you follow me, Career Coach Mo.
When it comes to hip-hop,
I ain't hating on the drill and trap, but it wouldn't be here without that old boom bap.
R&B, and talk radio. No one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.